did you have another one, or does anyone else have a question?
Yeah, I have two more.
Huh.
And
Okay.
what? And they both involve Erfan.
Huh.
Okay, I'm gonna use a trigger class, but I in a script, but I want the hotkeys to only be for that script. In other words, I want to use like a hot if.
Okay.
Can that?
So let me go to the
So you
preference.
don't want them to be global.
No, I don't want the hotkeys to be global. I want them to be restricted as if they were,
Sure.
and it may be just all you have to do is put in the hot if statement. But normally
We
that
we
goes just before the definition of the hotkeys, and the hotkeys are going to vary. So
so but by the way, we are using hotif, and dynamically we are using. I think I have demonstrated that before.
oh,
Yeah, let me show you where and how we are using that. So if I put here, so okay, it is not telling me. I think it is loading. Okay, so this is the default hotkey, and this is the label, and this is the callback that we are calling, and here this is title. So this is a hotif title. I should have named it hotif title. So if I tell it to only work on AHK underscore class, let me do some, okay, let me press, I press, so this is, let me bring okay, so AutoHotkey GUIs. So let me do AutoHotkey GUIs. So this control P only works for AutoHotkey change of power plants.
Can I
Okay.
use that one in the middle of the night?
Yeah. Yeah, change of the power
You would laugh
plant.
at that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting old enough to.
Okay.
so it's a parameter in the for the
Not,
triggers
not,
class.
not only parameter, but you can also go to the preferences, and you can see that this hotkey, and there is this also, we added that parameter in there. And if you go to
Right.
this thing, and you can just drag and drop, and yet now this hotkey will only triggers when the preference is available, or it can only work now if you use, like, if it found this page, or it can only work with the only help file. So you have to drop that. So it is available, but if it is empty, then it will work on any of the titles. So we are dealing with it dynamically. So let me just change it to apply. So if I move it here and I hit Control Shift P, it doesn't work. But if I am here, I do Control Shift P. Okay, what is my hotkey? I have to save it. Okay, Control Shift P, I have to save it. Okay. So I am here, I do Control Shift P, it is not working, but if I'm on this window and I do Control Shift P, yeah, I have just changed the power plan. So this is also part of the trigger class.
Very good. I'd forgotten that it was in there. You demonstrated it previously, but I didn't have a need for it, so I didn't remember it.
So I will tell you how I am, and I was also like confused how it is hotif. Okay, so we are using this hotif when active. So this is the function that we are using, hotif when active. So when this title is active, we will run this hotkey, and this hotkey is being assigned, or the hot string is being assigned dynamically. And this callback is also dynamic, and we are turning it on. Yeah, and I also amazed that, yeah, this is, we can dynamically create our hotkey. That was cool.
That is cool.
Oh, we got it. Well, and Connie, I think, did you say you had another one, or that was it?
I do. It'd probably be best if you read what's in chat rather than me speaking it. It's a little more complicated, but
Um, one question back. Sorry, Neek said, for example, I have 5 times triggers from Automator, and I have a different size. The size threw me there, Neek. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, you just mean like different number of rows, or you have 5 different copies of the triggers class? Is that what you're saying, Neek? And which one is the most current? I'm gonna guess, or which one should you go with?
yes, he says.
Yeah, okay.
You should go with the 2.4. So let me share my screen. So if you open that file, you will see v2.4. And that is recent. And recently I changed it. I
Yeah,
haven't
I tried to
shared-
find it this morning on your web page, and I couldn't.
Okay, so I have to commit these changes. And this is the recent. So
Just because it's related, if you don't mind, Irfan, why don't you go ahead and do it now and commit it and show at least that process, right?
Okay, so how do I do it? I go to that script that I'm working on. I go to the source, and then it's telling me what things that I changed. So I look for the changes. So these things are new. These 2 files are new, but this example has been modified. And I can say refactor temporary. So these files are temporary files, and I changed them. So these are just temporary files I work with, but these are the main changes. So what are the main changes? So I am getting label with the callback. Sometimes I want to get the label with the callback, and sometimes I want to get the hotkey. So yeah, this is new. So how would I use it? So I would use it something like that. So message box triggers dot, and then I would do a get label. I just mention a callback, and I would do a hotkey. Keyboard, and then I can do triggers dot get. Now it remind me of that. So if I run that, you will see the message box. So it is telling me the power plan, and the hotkey is Control-Shift-P. Yeah, the label also has this. Oh, so this is the tray label. So I am getting the tray label. So this should be called tray label. So yeah.
Get tray label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get tray label. Yes.
Capitalize the T there. I mean, to me, I would, right?
So these are the changes. So now I know. And
that it may not seem like a major thing, but that ability to push those hotkeys into your menu automatically and have it listed, Oh man, what a time saver.
Yeah, but sometimes I want to read that label, and that's why I added that.
You have trouble sleeping at night, so you want to.
Well, this is going to tie in very well to my next question.
Okay. So get query label example. So that was a chore. I have to save it and then also add it. I don't know what happened. Okay. Let me see. My commit get in there. Your temporary files is there. Or I think that I discarded. Okay, but thankfully I haven't discarded that. Get tray label. So I do add in here and I say feature add get label. And then I would increase the number of that. So it should be a feature, but I increasing the number, it is just a little method. I should have increases that one because it's kind of a whole new method. So I would not like to increase that version every time. So yeah, feature. Okay, feature I added is sure version bound. So we changed our version, so we know that this is a different version. And now I would like to create the zip file. Okay, so I have to close all the folders that I don't need. Let me just open this one. Okay, what I have in here in the preference, trigger and the examples. Okay, so I want this and this trigger examples. Okay, these two. So this was 3.0.2.4. I move it to the old folder and then I create a new one. And I have to name it preferences. Preferences. And now I have to go to the automator and I have to update that dashboard. I am logged in. Downloads. Preferences. So I should rename my library to the preferences. But it is not in there. Triggers. Guys, it reminds me of that horse that you showed. Share.
We never get that name straight.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to switch entirely over to one. I think triggers, even though I get why we considered preferences, we probably should just stick with triggers because that's how I think everyone kind of thinks about it.
Yeah. So
And then make sure you update the version number on the website that in the post.
yes.
And then
So-
because that's something we have to buy, it's a little difficult to fetch.
Oh, what?
Well, you should be able to log in, Connie, and then in the library, there should be a link back to this page. And then if you're logged in and you go to the page, it should, I mean, that's how I would think to try it.
The only way I've been able to do it is after I log in, look at account and then search an
Yeah,
account
I'm
until
with
I
you.
can find the old one
I'm with you.
and
That's yeah,
hit it.
yeah. But
And that works. If there's another way, I'd love to know how.
like I said, I think if you have in the library, we should have the link to where it's public, right? That's the download. And as long as you're logged in, when you're there, I think you should. EDD, Easy Digital Downloads, our plugin that does this, should be smart enough to figure to give it to you again without buying.
So what was your next question? So it was related to the labels.
Okay, I wanna develop a way to when I click on about, it tells the user how to use the program, and it will use the current values for the hotkeys.
Okay.
Does that make
So
is
so
that
you,
clear? So it would say press F1 to display a, a window and press F2 to get the latest version or something like that. The point being that F1 and F2 changed because they've been changed by the triggers class.
okay.
And so
So
I think what you just added is probably the way to do it. You get the names of the preferences.
mhm. So let me just demonstrate that. So my message. So let me create a tray menu. So before adding a standard and before finish menu, I do about here. So a tray menu dot add, I think if it is not deleting it, or maybe after the hotkeys I should do it. So a tray menu, I can do that, or this is also stored into the tray. So we are using so tray dot add, this should be empty, and sorry. So these are the separate, this will add a separator after the class, and then I think this will automatically add the separator. And then we will add a standard. Okay. So here I would say help, and then I would say help function. And this function should be anywhere. Okay. So now I have my labels, and now that should stored into a label, and label 1 should be here, and label 2 should be here. Okay, so I would do a label 2 in here. So now I got the labels in here, and now I try to create a message, help message. Oh, here's my okay. Okay, so in here, oh, what I have to do that instead. So this is my message for label 1. Please press triggers dot get label, and I want to do that callback that I'm using with that label 1, and I can do this, and for label 2, I can do the action 2 in here. And then I can mention detail in here. Okay, new line is automatically added to it. So yeah, I don't have to worry about it. So I can explain it. So detail for changing power plants. Okay. And the second label is a but, so I do not have to do that. Okay. Here, some other detail. And then I can do a notify. So notify dot show if this class has notify in there, but it doesn't. So let me do hash include and s drive notify slash notify dot notify v2, I think.
Yeah.
Actually. Okay. Now I don't know what is the location.
I just don't know how you don't have a hot string for that since you use it so much.
Yeah, I have to work on this, my prompt assistant, but I have an old prompt assistant and it is not updating for me.
Well, you should
Okay.
contact the developer.
I am in the lib. Okay, I missed the v2. Lib v2 notify and okay, that's how it is. So here I would do notify dot show. So this is the object hd text, and this should be some title.
Doesn't matter, man. Don't worry about typos.
Yeah, BD text. This message box. And then if I run that, and I have to ignore the parameters in here. And right click on it, and I have this help. If I press this one, okay, let's see what happened. Help message. Right click, help, and I have this some title. It isn't a title, it's a tickle. Okay. So some tickle and for hotkey to change. Oh, it is not gem duration. And it should be 5 at least. And I have missing comma. So that's how you can, now we have 2 help. So I think we can get rid of the standard then.
Cool.
Yeah. Some other detail, and this is telling me. So right click also telling me the hotkey, then help also.
Mhm.
But it is a detailed message. It is a detailed message. So do you have any question regarding that? So let me just remove that and move that to the end, I think. And then add a exit. And here I should put sorry.
Yeah, that's quite a powerful class.
And if I reload that, and you will see that now open folder is in there. I have to move both of them. Why do I add open folder so far in the last? This thing should be up here. So
That
open folder is here, preferences and help and exit.
that
So that's
open
what,
folder, by the way, that was one I had Irfan add, which also normally we have the icon as well, right? But it's so handy. I highly recommend you include that in all of your scripts. And it's so easy to do, especially if you haven't customized it with the triggers class.
right now we have this with all our script. So we can incorporate with our trigger class easily. I just have to move that into the finish function. So set icon, I have uneven close, add name, and I have to set icon and then add and the button. So before the preferences, I can add it here. And that should be this tray. And now I do not have to have it in.
I think exit ought to be in there also. If you don't have an exit, if you forget to add the exit, you have to go back and find the script and re-edit it to be able to.
The issue is if I add the exit into it, let me encoding. Okay. So the finish menu is just finishing, applying the trigger keys. So these are just for creating some objects, but this function applies all these hotkeys from these objects. And sometimes we want to add more menus. For example, you just added your help function in there. So putting some exit in there, I think it is kind of like, and then if it will look like this. So exit will go up in here, and then your user menus will go after the exit. And so exit should be at the end. That's what I think. I don't know.
But
So that's why I haven't put
but
the exit
the
in the
issue
finish.
the issue is if I forget to put in the exit and I run the script, there's no way to stop the script from running.
And you've hidden the default.
Oh yeah, that's even worse. If you hide the icon altogether, then you're really messed up. But
Yeah.
that's why I would
So
prefer to be able to turn it. If you don't want exit, have some way to turn it off. But the
okay,
standard
so
would have it in there. Now I
yeah.
don't care whether it's at the top or the bottom.
Right. Just that's available.
It's the functionality that's important to me.
Yeah, and maybe what we do is we because to me, I would say we could have it by default, but let's call it something different, so we don't have two exits if people have
Finish.
the default.